We just watched a driver dominate an entire championship race, leading by over 2 seconds, and then lose the championship in the final 3 laps because of one tire decision. And to make it even crazier, the guy who won the championship didn't even win the race. It sounds fake, but it actually happened. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this might be the most insane championship finish in NASCAR history.
Ryan Blaney has won his way into the championship.
A great day for Kyle Larson.
7th career win in his 100th.
Joey Logano takes the checkered flag.
The championship race delivered exactly what NASCAR dreams of when they designed the playoff format. All 4 championship contenders lined up 1, 2, 3, and 4 with just 30 laps remaining. The scenario unfolding was almost too perfect to be real. Denny Hamlin was absolutely dominating the race. We're not talking about just leading, we're talking about complete and total domination. He had a 2.5-second lead, which in NASCAR terms might as well be a mile. The championship trophy was practically in his hands. 6 wins on the season, leading when it mattered most, and everything was going according to plan. Kyle Larson was running behind him, already a champion, and looking for his second title. William Byron and the 4th contender were in the mix, but Hamlin, he was checked out. He was gone. The race appeared to be over. It wasn't even close. With just 3 or 4 laps to go in the championship race, William Byron's right front tire decided it had had enough. It exploded. The caution flag flew, and suddenly, everything everyone thought they knew about this championship was thrown into absolute chaos. Now here's where it gets interesting. When the caution came out, every crew chief in that top 4 had to make the most critical decision of their entire season in a matter of seconds. Do you take 2 tires and get out first, or do you take 4 tires, get fresh rubber, but restart deeper in the pack? Denny Hamlin, the driver who had led the most laps and dominated the entire race, made the call that seemed safe. 4 fresh tires. Get the best equipment under the car, maintain track position as best as possible, and bring home the championship. On paper, it makes sense. 4 fresh tires gives you the best grip, the best handling, and the best chance to hold off anyone behind you. Kyle Larson and his team went the same route with 4 tires, but the strategy was completely different. Larson knew he had the speed, he knew he had the car, and with fresh tires and a few laps of green flag racing, he had a legitimate shot. Here's what made this decision so controversial and what everyone was debating. When you're leading with that kind of gap, many strategists would argue you take 2 tires, get out first, control the restart, and don't give anyone with 4 tires a chance to get a run on you in traffic. Keep the track position, manage the restart, and cruise to the championship. But Hamlin's crew chief chose 4. That decision will be analyzed, debated, and second-guessed for years to come. Was it the right call? Was it too conservative? Should they have been more aggressive? The restart is where legends are made, and we witnessed something truly special. Kyle Larson, with those 4 fresh tires and the hunger of a champion, saw his opportunity. You don't give a driver of Larson's caliber, a generational talent, a wheelman in every sense of the word, fresh tires and traffic to work with. It's like giving a master chef the finest ingredients and expecting anything less than perfection. Larson went to work immediately. He started picking off cars, finding lanes, making moves that only the elite drivers in NASCAR can make. His car came alive, the fresh rubber gripping the track perfectly, and he was on a mission. Meanwhile, Hamlin was simply trying to hold on, trying to manage his tires, trying to bring home what should have been a dominant championship victory, but you could feel it slipping away with every lap. The closing laps were absolutely electric. Larson charging through the field, the championship slipping through Hamlin's fingers, and there was nothing he could do about it. The decision had been made on pit road, and now both drivers had to live with the consequences. When the checkered flag flew, Kyle Larson was your 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. But here's the kicker that makes this even more bizarre. Larson didn't even win the race. He finished 3rd or 4th. Let that sink in for a moment. The NASCAR champion finished 3rd or 4th in a championship race. Brad Keselowski actually won the race. We've never quite seen anything like this in the history of the sport. The champion didn't win the race, but he won the championship. Denny Hamlin, the driver who had 6 wins on the season compared to Larson's 3, the driver who led the most laps in the championship race, the driver who absolutely dominated when it mattered most, ended up without the championship. The cameras showed him after the race, and you could see it on his face. He was pale, shocked, devastated. 6 wins, complete domination in the final race, leading almost every lap, and somehow not the champion. The heartbreak was visible. The disbelief was real. This is the kind of moment that defines careers and haunts drivers forever. Now we need to address the elephant in the room, the playoff format itself. For years, traditional NASCAR fans have been screaming for a return to the old Winston Cup point system. They want a full season championship where consistency matters, where the driver who performs best over 36 races takes home the title. They argue that the current playoff format is too gimmicky, too unpredictable, and doesn't reward the best overall driver. And you know what? They have a point. Under the old format, this championship might have already been decided before we even got to this race. The drama we witnessed might never have happened. Hamlin's 6 wins would have carried more weight throughout the season. But here's the counter-argument that's impossible to ignore after what we just watched. Would the old format have given us this? Would any other system have produced a championship race this exciting, this dramatic, this absolutely insane? The answer is probably no. Under a traditional point system, someone might have clinched the championship weeks ago. We might have been watching a race where the title was already decided, where the drama was gone, and where fans were just going through the motions. Now let's zoom out for a second and look at what this means for NASCAR as a sport. NASCAR has been fighting for relevance in the modern sports landscape. They're competing with the NFL, NBA, Formula One, and countless other entertainment options. The traditional point system might reward the best driver, but does it create must-see television? What we witnessed was 4 championship contenders running 1 through 4 with 30 laps to go. That's the dream scenario. That's what NASCAR envisioned when they created this format. And then we got that tire failure, the pit strategy drama, and an outcome that literally nobody predicted. From a pure entertainment standpoint, this was television gold. This was the kind of racing that gets people talking on social media, that gets highlight clips shared millions of times, that brings casual fans into the sport. But at what cost? Does the best driver deserve to win the championship? Or does the driver who performs best in the playoff format deserve it? Kyle Larson is absolutely a deserving champion. He's one of the most talented drivers in the sport. But so is Denny Hamlin with his 6 wins. Larson is a deserving 2-time champion. He's proven himself across multiple racing series. He can drive anything with wheels, from sprint cars to NASCAR Cup cars to Indy cars. The man is a wheel man in the truest sense. But even he probably didn't expect to win the championship without winning the race. Even he probably thought Hamlin had it locked up when they were running first and second with only 30 laps to go. That's what makes this sport so unpredictable and so thrilling. Anything can happen. One tire failure, one pit strategy call, and everything changes. What do you think? Drop your answers in the comments below. And while you're down there, smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications so you don't miss any of our NASCAR content.